have been remanded.
Also coming up, Vice President halts campaign in the Greater Accra region and moves to assess another flood in the Northeast region, which has left hundreds of residents homeless.
We've counted about 58 collapsed buildings. By the grace of God, once the rain stops, we will support them to build their houses again.
Still ahead, nurses at Assembly of God Hospital in Saboba lay down their tools over what they say is mismanagement of the facility.
An independent external audit team should be constituted to audit the accounts of the hospital and subsequently change the signatories. That's true. Management.
And later, we'll bring you the harrowing circumstances under which law professor Yao Bene was murdered.
Nana Wamba was subjected to further interrogation, and he broke down and confessed that he masterminded the murder of the professor.
The details of the stories now. The Vice President, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, has assured affected residents of Thursday's flooding at the Westmont Prusi municipality that the government will assist them build their homes when the floods recede.
Well, the Vice President said this when he presented relief items comprising bags of food, mattresses, plastic materials, and a sum of 100,000 cedis to the victims. Well, the issue of flooding seems to reoccur every year.
And for me, I'm really happy that the government has given it the attention that it needs, because when it started about a month ago, I kept saying that we are not giving this issue the attention that it deserves. So for the Vice President to cut short his tour of the Ashanti region to move to the Northeast region, where over 900 people have been displaced, I think it's really a good thing. And Accra is not Ghana, Ghana is not Accra. So when some of these things happen, I mean, I can imagine the smiles on the faces of these residents. About 4 communities having cut off. And it keeps happening every year, as you indicated. The Bagri Dam is open for, water to flow out. We know it's going to happen. Now, what happened yesterday was not as a result of the spillage, but because some dams broke bounds, and it happened. So I'm very happy that you are taking this seriously, and I must commend government for taking this.
I think I agree with you. And you see, what causes flooding in Accra is not the same thing causing flooding up north. In Accra, we can talk of the poor drainage systems here, but up north, we're looking at siltation of the White Volta, the various rivers that run within these communities. And then, of course, there's also the challenge of the earth dams. There are small earth dams that have been dug out in these communities. And so when it rains, they break banks or their banks, and then they flow into the communities, and that's where the flooding comes. Now, usually the misconception in there is that the spillage from the Bagri Dam. That alone, it contributes to it, but then also the torrential rains contribute a major part. Now, we know when the rains will come. We know around what time the dam will be spilled. What preparations are we making to prevent flooding? Okay, so let's now cross over to our Northeast correspondent, Maxwell Suk, who is bringing us details or the extent of the flooding situation in the West Mamprisi municipality.
Thank you very much, Nana Tufo and Zoe. I am currently live from Gajine, one of the communities badly affected by the floods at the West Mamprisi municipality. The other 3 include Banawa, Dimia, and Bani. Just to give a brief description of the issue, for 24 hours the people here are yet to come to terms with the situation. A lot of them slept outside. As early as in the morning when I got here, it was really despicable. And behind me you can see roofs of homes that have fallen as a result of the floods. And It is the second time this community is being hit by flood. The first time was a spillage of the Bagro Dam coupled with torrential rains. So this is one of the affected houses that I am going to engage one of the guys who is currently working in here. It's not really good, as we can all see. I am finding it very difficult to walk now, and the whole place is muddied. And cameraman, just ensure that you don't fall. And it's not that easy, not at all. I am going to engage the gentleman here and see, well, he's trying to remove some of the clothing. They include mosquito nets, some of the African prints and all that. What are you currently doing?
Okay, I'm removing my clothes from the seas. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What actually happened? Maybe you might want to get closer a bit, and then we can talk well to this issue. So how do you feel? How do you find it now?
Oh, now we are finding it difficult way, because how to get some place to sleep is difficult for us, and even how to get something like to eat or cooking is difficult for us to get something to, even to prepare something for our mothers and then children.
So where did you sleep last night?
We sleep at the roadside. We block one of the, it's a road, then we block one side, and we get some mosquito net, then we slept there just at night. Yeah.
How about the children?
Okay, I have 3 children plus my mom and my wife. Yeah.
Where did they sleep?
Just, we all at the roadside. We just slept there at the roadside.
As I can see in this house, there's nowhere to put up any longer.
Yeah.
So how do you find it?
Oh, it's difficult for us. I mean, how like we can even get these things, like how we can remove these things from here, or like our clothes or everything is inside. So we just, only the mosquito net that they gave us yesterday, so that one that we are using now, and then some food. They have been giving us food small. So
they cook the food and bring it,
yeah.
Or what?
No, they cook the food and bring it. Some 1 pack for a person, 2 persons for 1 pack.
2 persons for one pack.
Yes, sir.
And does that satisfy you?
Oh, we are managing. It's a manage. Like we are taking it.
How soon can you get back to your feet, considering this damage?
Oh, that one there is now. This is the second time. The first time came, that was 2016, and this one the second time. The first time came because of the road. They made the road without gutters, and then there's a sea over here. That one, if the water come plenty, we make closer, then we make here water. The water come here plenty. Yeah.
So one of the houses I am currently heading to is the chief of the community, Chief Al Hassan. He's currently putting up his work. I'm going to engage him.
This is my house. So yesterday, the water come and fall in my village. So the water is too much. They come and push all the house down. So I don't get any here to want to sleep here. So by now, I'm beg government to come and help for me and my children and my people. So but in this now, my food, I don't know how to eat. I don't know how to give my children to eat. The Guinea people, the Guinea people didn't get any to sleep. So I'm beg government to come and give me mosquito network, so can give me, come and do my house and build it, and come and do my house and build for me and my people. I beg government, then you come and help me, my children. So by now the water it didn't finish. I'm working for my house to move the zinc and sticks there. So by now, my good, I don't know, I've got here. A cork, no cork here. The water take the things go. So my people is there.
Since the issue happened, the National Disaster Management Organization in this region have been up on their toes, and they have some statistics for us. I'm going to engage the regional boss, Mr. John Al-Hassan Kweku, to tell us more about this.
4 communities were affected yesterday. Out of this, in Banawa, we have 13 households that are affected. And in these 13 households, number of persons in there are 75. 11 households are completely collapsed in Banawa. Then the number of rooms involved, that's 46. In Keta, we have 19 households that are affected. Number of persons living there, 215. Total number of houses that are completely collapsed, 26. Then number of rooms, 112. Then Gagbini, we have 37 households that are affected. Number of persons living in these 37 households, 400. Total number of houses that are completely collapsed, 17. The number of rooms, that's 183. In Dimia, 11 households are affected. Total number of persons living in these 11 households, 173. The number of houses that are collapsed in Dimia, that's 4. The number of rooms involved, that's 43. In all, we have 80 households that are affected in these 4 communities. Total number of persons affected, that's 938. Collapsed houses, that's 58. The number of rooms involved, 384.
Well, barely 24 hours after the disaster hits these communities, relief items have just arrived, and we will see what the Vice President and his entourage will have to tell the people.
I heard about this disaster that has befallen my own people, and because of that, I suspended all campaigning, and I have rushed home today to see for myself what has happened. The heavy rainfall has caused a collapse of many buildings, and unfortunately many of these buildings were built with sand and mud houses, and so the force of the water has resulted in a collapse of many of these buildings, and so you have displaced people. So far, we've estimated about 80 households, but there are more who have been affected. So far, for about 4 or so villages, we've counted about 58 collapsed buildings. And so there are many people who have been affected, and they are being temporarily housed in a number of schools, and this is one of the locations where they are being temporarily housed. NADMO has acted quickly, has brought some relief items, including food items, including mattresses, buckets, mosquito coil, and other items, rice and sugar and milk for the sustenance of the people for now. We are also adding 100,000 cedis to them so that the food items that are required will be purchased, more will be purchased. I've asked that at least 500 bags of corn should be purchased to supplement what has already been brought. But by the grace of God, once the rains stop, we will support them to build their houses again.
We are back into the Banawa community just shortly after the Vice President made presentation of the items. This is another house that has been, collapsed. Is that your house?
Yes, that's my uncle's house.
Okay.
Yes.
So what happened? How do you find it now?
Yeah, I'm a service personnel here. I was at Accra. I completed Accra Technical University. So I've been posted to Wadwali District Hospital. So yesterday morning, I just left to work. So I was at work and I just had a call that the whole village is being flooded with water. So by the time that I get here, the house was collapsed. I learned that they were preparing to prepare food. That's Tozafi. Then by the time they realized the water carried it away, they couldn't even find the pot and other things. It's been gone.
Where are you putting up anyway at the moment? Where are your people sleeping?
Yeah, last night we were just hanging around. You can see the packs. We're hanging around. We seated here for a long, around 11 p.m. until the DC was saying that some of them should go the next village. There's a school there. This is go and hang over there. So we slept. You see this church over there. No one is living there. So we slept inside over there.
Back to you, Nana Tufo.
Clearly from that report, we can tell the extent of the flooding, the challenge there, and the plight of the victims. But what are the identifiable causes, and how can we solve the issue of perennial flooding in the northern part of the country? We're going to speak to the head of a flood mitigation task force, and he's going to help us with some insight on what the challenges really are with the issue of perennial flooding in the northern parts of the country. Hello and welcome to the City Newsroom, sir.
Thank you very much.
Grateful. Now, help us understand, why do we see this problem, this challenge of flooding every other year?
It depends on the intensity of the rains within Ghana and also the level of water that is spilled from Burkina Faso. But the main cause has to do with the level with which the white water and the major tributaries have been silted out.
This task force that you had, an interministerial task force, what is your mandate and what solutions have you identified that can help end this problem?
What we identified was that we needed structural measures to address the sand accumulation within the river channel. And the key activity or intervention was to dredge. But I must say that this has never been done before. The river, the white water, has never been dredged. So the level of silt, was quite high.
Are you able to give us names of some of the specific areas that benefited from the dredging?
Nasia community, they really benefited. Nabogo community, they also benefited. And then Yagaba Kubori area, they also benefited.
The silting has been going on for, correct me if I'm wrong, about a year now. Why is it that we're still recording floods in some of these places?
Last year's floods, the areas that we tackled, this year, even though there were floods, there was no destruction of farmlands and property and life. This year, the intent was or is to go and tackle the northern part, the upstream parts. So that is a strategy, and it's not a continuous thing. You cannot do it continuous. We're staggering it based on the suitability of the period for us to actually do what we are supposed to do. This year, as the floods were ongoing, we couldn't have done the dredging. So we anticipate that from any time from the middle of October, we'll get back and then tackle those critical areas that I've mentioned.
Largely, the strategy is desilting, dredging of the white water. But aside that, is there any other strategy we're hoping to employ to mitigate the impact of flooding in this area?
Yes. In fact, it's a combination of structural and non-structural. Dredging is one, and then the non-structural ones are also there. Early warning, giving the communities forecasting and giving them early warning signals so they can take immediate measures as appropriate.
Is it advisable to have residents along these areas relocate?
Our view is to, as it were, sensitize the public and also as we engage them in terms of the do's and don'ts and how they can actually relocate, assuming that the floods are imminent. We give them prompts and then they relocate to some areas on an interim basis.
Thank you very much. Ben Ampuma heads an interministerial committee on the mitigation of flooding in the northern parts of the country. Let's now go to the Savannah region, where our correspondent Richard Fogo brings us a report on the extent of flooding in that area.
Data from NADMO indicates 13,282 people in 150 communities in the Central Gonja and North Gonja districts in the Savannah region have been affected by flood waters so far. According to the data, a total of 10,000 948 acres of farmlands belonging to residents were destroyed by the floods. 3,082 persons have been displaced, most of whom are children, with one casualty. Some of the displaced continue to live with family members and friends, whilst others live in camps set up by the National Disaster Management Organization. Nearly 1,000 people are currently being housed at the Wasipe Senior High School in Daboya, which is expected to open next week for academic work. At Sankpakura in the Central Gonja district, over 100 people from Pangesi community have been living in these makeshift tents for the past 2 weeks. Besides living under poor sanitary conditions, they are also left at the mercy of the weather. Even worse, their children have been unable to go to school. The men here continue to engage in fishing activities, whilst the women smoke and sell the fish to cater for themselves. Confronted with these challenges, they want government to help them relocate from their community. Kobina Charity and Benedicta Sanaher live at this makeshift camp. They recount what happened to their community.
Instruto atanki ana muna video ntujara na kaka ntro mburaso ntiji aso kike so no bi da wa no ntuna an pangaso na pangaso
this farm the water take their farm maize and this pepper plus tomatoes, the things, all the things spoiled.
And what about your homes?
Our homes.
Your houses?
Our roof is break down.
The people here are ready to relocate to higher grounds once government can assist them with a place to stay. Mohammed Toher, the Savannah Regional Coordinator for NADMO, tells City News his outfit is partnering with organizations to extend enough support to the victims.
We would like to see how best any agencies that is touched by their condition can come to our aid on health and then even education. Also, where they are is not where they wish to be, but because of their condition. So any agencies that can help us to relocate them permanently, properly, we will welcome it.
This is where the people of Pangiso are now living. Their whole community has been submerged by waters from the White Volta. As you can see, about 3 people sleep in this makeshift tent that they made themselves. They are calling on government, NADMO, and other organizations to come to their aid. From Sankpankura, I am Richard Fogo reporting for City News.
Meanwhile, the Member of Parliament for Kumbungu, Ras Mubarak, is accusing the National Disaster Management Organization, NADMO, of doing little to help his constituents as flood waters destroy their homes and farms.
The agency responsible for disaster management in the country, NADMO, has still not sent even a sachet of water to the people in my constituency. And I don't know whether they are trying to suggest to the people of Kumbungu that they are not part of Ghana, because I can't fathom that a disaster of this magnitude would happen for over 3 weeks now, and NADMO has still not sent even a sachet of water. So they should tell the good people of Ghana what they have done with all the resources that was allocated to them. They should tell the good people of Ghana what they have done with their budgetary allocation and the things in NADMO warehouse. You can have a disaster of this magnitude, affect people, women, children, the aged, the youth, and then 3 weeks down the line, you don't even send them even a sachet of water. You know, what we have done in our little small way is to call on friends. So for instance, the Embassy of the Republic of South Korea has supported, you know, with some relief items. The Embassy of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, when I called on them, has also given some support. I'm still talking to some friends of mine from Turkey to see what we can do in the interim. And I'm appreciative of the support that ordinary Ghanaians, you know, a used clothing here, a used clothing there. These are things they need immediately.
A Deputy Minister for Information, Pius Enam Hajide, says 60 suspects have been arrested in relation to recent disturbances in the Volta region. According to Mr. Hajide, the 60 are believed to be members of the separatist movement demanding the secession of parts of Ghana to form a Western Togoland. This was reviewed after a high-powered government delegation on security led by the National Security Minister Albert Kandapa visited the region on Friday to assess the situation there.
Deployments have so far been made to Japan, Hawaii, Aplau, Nkonya Alavanyo, Bando, Oti, in Basa in the Oti region, and Ketekrachi also in the Oti region. Let us recall that there have already been deployments in Basa, Ketekrachi, and Nkonya Alavanyo, but those have been reviewed to deal with the current threats. So far, 60 suspected criminals have been arrested and 54 have been remanded. The others are being processed for court. It is worthy of note, ladies and gentlemen, that the Volta Regional House of Chief once again denounced the criminal activities that were reported recently, i.e. the blocking of roads, burning of tires, and attack on some police stations, 2 police stations in fact. The Regional House was unanimous in its condemnation.
You're still watching the City Newsroom. Still ahead in this bulletin, nurses at the Assemblies of God Hospital in Saboba lay down their tools over claims that there is mismanagement of the facility.
We have the details coming up shortly. Do stay with us.
Rigworld Solutions, forging the frameworks of Ghanaian industry. Engineering solutions from the heart of Takrade, Kejebil. At Rigworld Solutions, we manufacture industrial bolts and nuts, fasteners, hoses and fittings for the extractive and petrochemical industries. World-class products with local expertise. Locate our factory in Kejebil of the Takrade Takwa Road. Call 0302 949917 or 0540 107504. Email enquiries at rigworldsolutions.com. Rigworld Solutions, crafted in Ghana, engineered for the world.
We have new addictive series for you on DSTV.
A country invaded, another surrendered. What will America do?
So much has changed.
No, you've changed.
Go, go, go! Love a good British drama. World on Fire's intimate portrayal of the effects of wartime on ordinary people may be your next favorite thing to watch. Or catch Stargirl, a stellar series around a teenage superhero who is a shining beacon in the darkest of times. True crime fans, you'll be fascinated by this brilliant federal agent as she dives into the dark criminal underworld. And join some of Power's most controversial characters in this spin-off. Series definitely worth checking out on DSTV.
I noticed you have 3 waste bins, not they? How many are you in this house? You make that much waste here?
Oh no, we try and segregate our waste as much as possible. We don't mix all the waste together.
Oh, you people, every bola is bola. Why separate them?
Amapa, segregation helps the environment a lot, you know. Not all waste must go to the landfill site. For us, we use the food waste as manure for the garden. And the plastic waste, we keep them for recyclers to pick them.
Recycle?
Aye, they recycle it into other useful products. So that reduces the waste in the environment. And to know every bola is bola, my sister.
I see. How smart.
Segregate your waste today. Segregate in school, segregate at church. In fact, segregate everywhere. Be smart. Don't mix it all up.
Close-up deep action with antibacterial mouthwash formula and deep cleaning gel. Close-up deep action. Enjoy long-lasting fresh breath.
Equinfi Juice Factory is a 1D1F initiative funded by Ghana Exim Bank. Each juice brand, Equinfi Fruit Juice, is made from fresh pineapple and its quality is impeccable. All raw materials used in its production are purchased here in Ghana. The entire value chain has helped the community prosper by creating jobs for many Ghanaians, from farming, distribution, and retail. Due to its great taste and brand promotion, Equinfi Juice is available in supermarkets and shops all over Ghana. And just like Equinfi Juice Factory, there are other factories set up across the country under the 1D1F initiative in areas such as shea production, poultry, pharmaceuticals, sweet potatoes, avocado, tomatoes, mangoes, and more local businesses which are creating jobs and expected revenue. At Ghana Exim Bank, we call this the Made in Ghana 4P. Produce, promote, purchase, and prosper. If as a people we believe in the Ghana beyond aid, then let's prosper as a nation by producing, promoting, and purchasing our own products. Let's support Made in Ghana, and let's take Made in Ghana to the world. One district, one factory. Ghana at work. Ghana Exim Bank, facilitating Ghana's international trade.
You all come back. Now, nurses at the Assemblies of God Hospital in Saboba have laid down their tools over what they say is mismanagement of the facility by the administrator and accountant. The nurses say there are no basic equipment and medications in the hospital, and this was affecting their work. Patients who visited the hospital were left stranded as all wards were locked. City News' Muhammad Aminu Alabira has more in the following report.
The Assemblies of God Hospital is the main hospital in Saboba serving the people. The hospital has over the years been faced with lots of challenges. Though a mission facility, over 80% of the workers are on government payroll. The nurses complain that they do not enjoy any allowances from the hospital, saying they have only been working for the administrator and the accountant. Even though the hospital is under the National Health Insurance Scheme, the workers say there are lots of challenges there, and patients who go there pay out of pocket often. According to residents, they are made to make co-payments for care they receive, and they do not understand what that money is used for. 2 months ago, the nurses agitated, demanding that the administrator be removed. It took the intervention of the paramount chief of Saboba to get matters under control. He asked both the administrator and the accountant to leave. The workers claim though the administrator and the accountant left, they are still signatories to the accounts of the hospital. Today, the nurses in the hospital have locked down the facility for what they call lack of basic equipment to facilitate their work. In view of this, Koya in Saboba at a press conference call on government to immediately institute an audit on the accounts of the hospital and take over the management of the facility.
The perennial and consistent occurrence of the problem has led and continue to lead to loss of innocent lives, for which posterity will continue to hold us all accountable. We want to propose the following measures for a permanent resolution of the problem. 1. A substantive and strong board of directors and management should be constituted to manage the affairs of the hospital with immediate effects. An independent external audit team should be constituted to audit the accounts of the hospital and subsequently change the signatories management.
Some concerned residents in the hospital also spoke to City News about their experiences with the facility.
We don't have roads. Now we don't have any health facility to take care of us. And so we need the authority to actually come to our aid. The system is actually down in the hospital. There's nothing there. You get in there, and even toilet facility in the main ward is in fact like a dungeon.
Please, if all these things are lacking, but yet they promised that this was those things that they were going to do before they would be able to pay the nurses incentive, and yet we don't see anything. We are asking them, where are the money? Since June, over 3 billion from insurance for 3 months. June, within 3 months of June, they had 3 billion received from insurance. What have they used the money for?
Meanwhile, City News has been unsuccessful in attempt to get the site of the former administrator of the hospital.
James Nanawamba, the main suspect in the murder of Professor Emmanuel Yaubene, has revealed that the victim was killed after he showed resistance in a robbery attempt on his residence. In his confession, the suspect also admitted that the victim was gagged and hit with an iron rod after he screamed for help. The Director General of Police CID, COP Ken Yabua, made these known at a press conference. City News' security correspondent was there and filed this report.
Professor Yaubene, a renowned law lecturer at the University of Ghana, was murdered at his home in Accra on September 10, 2020. The police arrested 4 domestic workers from his home to assist in investigations. After their second appearance in court, 3 of them were discharged. However, the 4th suspect, a cleaner, James Nanawamba, was detained as the main suspected killer of Professor Bene. According to the police, the suspect confessed to the crime. The Director General of Police CID, COP Isaac Kenyabua, gave more details on the murder of Professor Bene.
After a series of interrogation, police narrowed their suspicion on one of the suspects, James Nanawamba, a 29-year-old cleaner of the late professor. Based on forensic evidence gathered from the crime scene, James Nanawamba was subjected to further interrogation, and he broke down and confessed that he masterminded the murder of the professor. In fact, he has admitted that he did the crime. He did commit the crime with one other person, and because he had a key, a duplicate key of the professor, which the professor didn't know that he had a duplicate key, he had access to the place, and together with the new person that he has mentioned, they murdered him. And then the idea was to rob him, but the professor was not giving in as they expected, and so they hit him with an iron rod and then tied him, gagged him, and then he died.
COP Kenyabua also gives details of some items that were stolen at the crime scene.
Crime suspect has admitted taking the 450 cedis from the wallet. He has also admitted taking the CPU, which, according to him, he dumped it in septic tank when he was leaving, because he was entertaining fears that maybe there were some cameras which might have captured him, and so he dumped it in the septic tank.
In a related development, a policeman with the Accra Police Command attached to the formed police unit, Lance Corporal Bright Akosa, was arrested with 2 others for robbery and murder of a taxi driver. COP Kenyeboa said the suspects have been arraigned and remanded. Sad revelations there by officials of the CID on how Professor Yaobene was murdered at his residence. The assurance, however, is that they have more evidence to ensure that the people who are before court will definitely be punished. For City News, I am Anas Seidu reporting from the police headquarters.
Now, President Akufo-Addo says 768 out of over 1,400 projects undertaken in the Eastern region by his administration have been completed in his first term. The president, while speaking at a state durbar in Chebi in the Eastern region, called on Ghanaians to renew his mandate to do more.
Eastern region, Regional House of Chiefs, Mikawa said, projects are here, Nebreso, our Eastern region, 1,481 projects. At the year 768, 730 ongoing. Mimuno, Ochimemu, projects are 560 projects. 345 and 215 ongoing. When says Mabine, the buyer, Yambia Quadro, Ejuma, Yaye Ejuma, Emma, say Kaya Bisia deal, say Kaya Pomu deal, say Kaya Quayo. Si akaya kwe jumo, si akaya free jumo, minina abaya mdawe aya juma magana funa emi ehu se ampa mamba se me baba dada ubia me ba se me baba bua me piaga na firienu ema firienu akonanim.
The Vice President, Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia, is asking Ghanaians to renew the mandate of President Akufo-Addo and the NPP in the December polls to complete its digitization program. Now, Dr. Bawumia says under President Akufo-Addo, Ghana's economy has been digitized to reduce corruption in key government institutions. Now, speaking at a meeting with the authorities of the Valley View University College at Oyibi in Accra, Dr. Bawumia says government's digitization drive should not be interrupted. City News' Sami Yafe was with the Vice President and has filed this report.
In a packed auditorium of lecturers, students and party supporters, Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia says a second term for MPP and Nana Akufo-Addo will move the Ghanaian economy from the current state to a fully digitized one. Dr. Bawumia explained that government digitization drive was aimed at reducing corruption in key sectors of the economy, which he says was hampering growth and productivity.
We are also digitizing our economy. We have a plan to digitize this economy. A lot of corruption happens because of manual systems, bureaucratic systems, systems. But if you digitize systems, you can sit in your home and apply for a passport and you don't have to go to the passport office. You can sit in your home and renew your national health insurance card and you don't have to go to the office. You can sit in your home and apply for a business permit and you don't have to go to the Registrar General's department. This is the economy we are building. And this is why, first order of business, we have begun the process of issuing everybody with a national ID card. It is a unique number, and it will be the unique number for every transaction that you are going to undertake in Ghana. So far, we have enrolled about 15.5 million people, and by next year, everybody, including all the school age, primary school age children, everybody will be enrolled under the National Identification Card Scheme.
The Vice President also announced that beginning next year, all homes and institutions will have their digital addresses displayed in front of their premises.
No part of Ghana. And the Land Use and Spatial Planning Authority, together with the Ghana Post, have started the process of printing the plaques, the plates, for every property in Ghana. You will see your street name, the house number, and the digital address. We are going to put it for every house in Ghana. We have generated it for 4 million homes now. By the end of November, we hope to have generated for every property in Ghana.
You're still watching the City Newsroom on City TV. Still ahead, continuation of Electoral Commission's one-day limited voter registration exercise records massive turnout at some centers in Accra.
We have the details of this story and more right after this break.
A 1D1F initiative in Kumwabewaze, funded by Ghana Exim Bank, produces orange flesh sweet potato food products like sweet potato cake, bread, donuts, and chips, among others, in large quantities for both local consumption and exports. As innovators in agribusiness with the capacity of producing over 250 tons of potatoes every 6 months, it has an estimated job creation capacity of over 1,000. Like Casadaroba, there are other factories set up across the country under the 1D1F initiative in areas such as poultry, pharmaceuticals, fruit processing, and more local businesses which are creating jobs and expected revenue. At Ghana Exim Bank, we call this the Made in Ghana 4P. Produce, promote, purchase, and prosper. If as a people we believe in the Ghana beyond aid, then let's prosper as a nation by producing, promoting, and purchasing our own products. Let's support Made in Ghana, and let's take Made in Ghana to the world. One district, one factory. Ghana at work. Ghana Exim Bank, facilitating Ghana's international trade.
Thank you, sir. Hello, my name is Samuel Ofori, a film actor and a film director. Because of the nature of my job, the taste for quality things is endless. Quality phones, quality laptops, quality TV sets. Let me show you my secret. Here is Franco Trading Enterprise. My secret for quality laptops, quality phones, quality TV sets, accessories, come on, external hard drive, pen drive, name it. For bulk purchase and retails, come to Franco Trading Enterprise. They'll reduce the price for you. Franco Trading Enterprise, home of quality phones.
Play the golden goal on Bet Planet today with just 20 Ghana cedis. You could win a Mercedes and 100,000 Ghana cedi worth of prizes. This advert has been vetted and approved by the Gaming Commission of Ghana. Bet responsibly, not for persons below the age of 18.
Hello, my brother. It's been a long while. Your house dey build. I use the finest materials for this building. I can see that. But my brother, you know, just last year you built this house.
Oh yeah.
When the walls started peel off like banana due to rising damp. My brother, that's been my issue. I've tried so many things, but nothing works. You know what? They even use that black rubber thing on it before the concrete casting.
You mean that boiler rubber?
Oh.
My brother, you would have saved yourself the stress if only you used Visqueen DPM from Vertigio Limited. That'd be what my puppy used for house. And over so many years, the house till they come up.
For purchases and enquiries, contact Ventigio Limited at Spinters Road, Accra, or in Kumasi at Oshumasi Kwarasu.
Visqueen DPM, no size.
You will come back. Now, the continuation of the one-day limited voter registration exercise by the Electoral Commission witnessed a high turnout at some registration centres in Accra. Although the exercise ended on Thursday, the EC extended it to Friday for persons who were unable to register to do so, despite the seemingly low number of persons available at the centres at the time of our visit. The figures recorded by the EC officials suggested that majority of applicants had been captured in the exercise. There is more in the following report by City News' Ni Ayikwe Okai.
The Electoral Commission on October 1, 2020, conducted a one-day limited voter registration exercise targeted at qualified persons who could not partake in the mass voter registration exercise organized in June and July. The exercise took place at various district offices of the EC across the country from 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. However, persons who could not register before the close of the exercise were issued coupons to enable them undertake the exercise on Friday. This arrangement was only for eligible applicants who went out to register on October 1 but could not do so due to time constraints. On Friday, the Ladadekotopon office of the EC had a few people around seeking to be registered. According to the EC officer, over 100 people had been registered, with 15 more expected to undertake the activity before the end of the exercise.
The writing that came from the commission was that those who will be in the queue as at 6 p.m. yesterday should be given cheats to come today to complete the process. And so if we give out about 115 people and 100 have come so far, then we are expecting about 15 more people to come.
During a visit to the Lejokuku Krowa Registration Center, only 6 applicants were expected to participate in the process after a successful registration of 57 applicants on Friday. One of such persons, Preslo Pokukwaten, spoke to City News.
I was here yesterday. Apparently, they were registering those who weren't able to register. So I'm from Teshi, Lejokuku. I was here to register yesterday. I was here after 5. Then they registered. They filled the form for us and told us, give us numbers and said we should come tomorrow and then take the pictures in our cards. So I was here to collect my card. So when I came, I just took my picture and then my card. That's it.
The Lankwantanan district office of the EC had registered over 100 applicants at the time City News visited the center. However, there were quite a number of them who were seeking to be registered onto the electoral roll. Some of them said they were hopeful of participating in the exercise before the scheduled time, although they were not issued with coupons on Thursday.
I don't have a number and I don't have a card. Yesterday, okay, they said that I should wait. If they finish, they can save me too.
I don't know, because the other one, like this, the reason I couldn't do it, my sister was not well, so, and it was really serious, so I couldn't go anywhere. Yeah, so because of that, I couldn't do it.
The limited voter registration exercise by the Electoral Commission is ending today. However, there are some persons who may not be able to partake in this exercise before the time ends. Reporting from Medina in Accra, I'm Ni Ayikwe Okain for City News.
That'll be all on the City Newsroom. Our website, citynewsroom.com, has more information on our top stories and more.
Subscribe to CityTube on YouTube for more exclusive video content from City TV.
Download the City Newsroom app from the Google Play Store or the App Store and keep updated on the go.
You can also watch City TV on DSTV channel 363 and on GoTV channel 182.
My name is Zoe Abubedu Ado.
And mine is Nanatufu Boating. Many thanks for watching.
Rigworld Solutions is a wholly owned Ghanaian company that offers multiple engineering solutions for the extractive and petrochemical industries. We manufacture industrial bolts and nuts, fasteners, hoses and fittings. From our factory at Kejebri in Takrade in the western region of Ghana, Rigworld